This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah, for my city, never pretty, New York. This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah, for my city, never pretty, New York, New York City singing with me. Yeah, for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City singing with me. Now we got the Nets that move into town. New York and Brooklyn showdown, but NYC has always been a Knick town. Orange and blue, we rock the colors with pride. Let's take it back to Walt Clyde and Earl of Burr going to work on you guys. The UN era was live. It started in 85. The Twin Towers would devour you guys. R.I.P. to Dick the Butcher. We could never overlook a Knick legend up in heaven smiling down on our future. Bernard King, he was a scoring machine. He was a human wrecking ball, straight up destroying your team. There was no defense you could draw in the scheme. From post-game to mid-range, you had no chance. He would just shatter your dreams. Rod Strickland, Action Jackson, John Starks, he played with passion. Larry Johnson, Oak and Mason did a lot of party crashing. Or any team who tried to step to NY. And if you put the jersey on, you better rock it with pride. This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah, for my city, never pretty, New York, New York City singing with me. Yeah, for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah, New York City singing with me. New York City singing with me. Stills the great. Tipper of the Gambler.
What up?
Knicks Talk Nation Radio. Every Monday, 10 to 11. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Your boys is back at it again.
Yeah.
Tips.
What up?
Got a lot to talk about, man. You know, Knicks out here, you know, making things happen when they ain't supposed to make things happen, doing what Knicks do. You know, the Knicks always messing something up, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, man. I go back to the Knicks as far as the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I'm a diehard fan, but I'm also a realist as well and a loyal Knicks fan. But, you know, they out here doing things that they ain't supposed to do. And what do I mean by that? They beat one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference yesterday, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, they did.
We did watch that game yesterday, and we were a little surprised when we saw everything. You know what I mean? So the Knicks did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 92-81.
How about that?
How about that? Now, it was a couple of things that caught my attention with this game, man. Watching the game off and on. But then when you look at the box score, you kind of realize how they won, but you also realize how Thibbs started tightening up his rotation in his lineup, right?
Nine players.
So 9 players played yesterday. Quentin Grimes of all Knicks led all Knicks players with 40 minutes in yesterday's game.
How about that?
The leading scorer in yesterday's game was Jalen Brunson. He had 23 points. He dished out 4 assists. And he had about 2 rebounds go with that. He played 32 minutes. And he got the best of Donovan Mitchell yesterday. But the first game that they played in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell made them realize why they should have made that off-season trade for him when they played them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What was your thoughts on yesterday's game before I get into it a little bit deeper?
Donovan Mitchell had an off game yesterday. Because normally he would light him up, light it up for like 30 and better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he finished with about 20-something, 25, 24, something like that.
Absolutely. He finished the game yesterday with 23 points. He also played 40 minutes. Right. He had 4 rebounds and 5 assists.
Okay.
He shot 8 for 22 from the field, 2 for 11 from 3-point range.
Yeah, that was an off game for them.
Yeah, it was an off game, but,
the Knicks made it hard for him.
The Knicks made it hard for him. You know what I mean?
Let's not forget that.
But it looked like the Cavaliers weren't too interested in playing yesterday's game the way that they came out and played. You know what I mean? For the Knicks, like I said, Jalen Brunson led the way with 23 points. Julius Randle added 18 points and 9 rebounds. R.J. Barrett, he had a quiet 15 points. He grabbed 8 rebounds. He also played 31 minutes.
and Emmanuel quickly added 12 points off the bench. Now, the notables was the DMPs, Derrick Rose and Cam Reddish. Both were DMPs yesterday. One was due to health issues, and the other one was a coaching decision. I see you want to chime in on that, Thibbs.
Because both of them are about to be traded.
Now, yeah, we ain't gonna jump too far. You know what I mean?
But they're not gonna last long with the team. We'll say that.
I say that. It doesn't look. It doesn't look
right.
good. It doesn't look good.
No.
Now, the only statistics that the Knicks did better than the Cavs in yesterday was field goal percentage. You know what I mean? They shot 41% from the field. They shot 81% from the free throw line.
They should always do that at home.
And they out-rebounded. This was the main stat. They out-rebounded the Cavs 54-39. You know what I mean? With 14 offensive rebounds. They should always do that at home, but they should
always do that.
They should always do that, but, with this team, they're up and down team. They play to the level of their competition, and this is what leads to most of their problems that they've been having. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of it is coaching as well. I'm not going to exonerate Thibbs from none of this. Like, a lot of this falls on him. You know what I mean? And it goes to what you just said, like the shaky rotations. You know what I mean? The excuse of not playing Derrick Rose and Cam Reddish. They were both DMPs. Like I said, Rose was for health and rest issues. Cam was just a coach's decision. Just a couple weeks ago, Cam was in the lineup getting busy and the Knicks was winning. So why would you pull him now outside of what you just said? To get Grimes back into the fold?
Pretty much.
Now, who would you rather have, Grimes or Reddish?
If you could have both, have one come off the bench, another one start.
Grimes played 40 minutes yesterday. 40 minutes. He only scored 4 points and grabbed 6 rebounds.
That means he was playing a lot of defense.
4 points and 6 rebounds.
He was playing a lot of defense.
He was a plus minus. He was a plus on the plus minus ratio, meaning that he definitely didn't have them losing while he was in the game.
Right,
so, like you said, his defensive presence on the floor.
Right.
His defensive presence on the floor was definitely.
He was playing defense.
Yeah, he played a lot of defense. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we need shooters, man. We need offense in the game.
Of course.
Evan Fournier is buried on the bench. They're about to find somewhere for him before the trade deadline. It's obvious they don't want him anymore.
He gone.
You know what I mean? Which don't make sense to me because he's a shooter.
Right.
You need to find a way to get your shooter involved in the game. Like, he's the best shooter that they have, and he doesn't play.
No,
so,
he don't.
That again falls on coaching. You know what I mean? So, since you already got into it, the rumors have it that Derrick Rose is piquing some trade interest from like teams like Dallas. You know what I mean?
The Lakers.
And the Lakers. But Dallas just signed Kemba Walker. So elaborate more on it. You know what I mean? We got to really get into it. Like, we can't just
Dallas was talking about they just signed Kemba Walker, but Kemba Walker is only an experiment. If it works out, then they don't need Derrick Rose. But if it don't, then they're going to need Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
that's how it was written. That's how they were saying it on on TV. So that's how it's going down for Kemba.
But and this is what I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, Kemba can't catch a break anywhere. It's like you came to the Knicks, homecoming. He should have been an intricate part of the team, but for whatever reason, Thibbs didn't play him either. You know what I mean? Now, it seems like Dallas is our buddies and our friend. This is the only team in the NBA that does business with us. Mark Cuban and James Dolan must got some business ventures outside of the NBA together, because these are the only two teams that work together, from the Porzingis trade to this Jalen Brunson situation.
And then sign all the guards.
You know what I'm saying? And then signing all the guards that we had. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like they got some type of undercover business going on. Yeah, and how about him? Where's Ntilikina at? The bum, Frank Ntilikina. Where's Frank Ntilikina at?
He's still on the bench in Dallas.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Rotting on the pond somewhere. And a lot of Knick fans, again, give him a chance. Nah, he was a bum, man. He was garbage, man. Let's keep it a buck, man. Phil Jackson dropped the ball on it again. Destroyed our future with those two picks. Kristaps Porzingis and Franklin Ntilikina destroyed the Knicks for the next 10 years, because now we got to wait for another team to eventually
come through
and give us a player, which is not going to happen, which is why I always say we need to go back to the drawing board, chalk this season up as a loss. If you're going to do a fire sale, you want to get rid of Rose and a couple other pieces that you can attach with them to get something back worth something. And utilize these damn draft picks that we got stockpiled, because it don't look like we're going to be able to do nothing with them anyway, because all the good players ain't going nowhere. They stuck. Donovan Mitchell, we can't see him until at least another 3-4 years. That ain't happening no time soon. The encouraging thing is that they did show him dapping it up with Francisco Lindor from the Mets yesterday. You know, his pops is heavily involved with the Mets organization. So he still showed that he got love for the Mets, and he's still a New Yorker at heart, even though he's in Cleveland right now. So maybe we can hold on to a line of hope that he still may want to come here within the next 3 years. But as of now, doesn't look too good. You know what I'm saying? But that's now you said the Lakers. The Lakers is interesting. I don't see where he fits on the Lakers. And if we do trade him to the Lakers, what are we getting back in return?
They was talking about Westbrook, but I don't want Westbrook on the Knicks. Not now.
I mean, like I said, the only way I would make a move for Westbrook is if I can remove Julius Randle's contract in that deal, because they make the same amount of money per year, I believe, or Westbrook makes a little bit more per year. But Randle's contract is much longer than Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook only got 1 more year left on his contract after this season, which is like $47 million or something like that, if I'm not wrong. And if you're out there in the nation and you see me, please call in and let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong on this. But I believe he has 1 more year left on his contract. So I would make that move. I mean, again, that'll just put butts in the seat.
Of course.
People just want to come and see Westbrook. It'll help his career out off the court, because he's into fashion. As we all know, he come to games looking like a runaway slave at times.
He'll be another Clyde.
Drag
That's
queen.
the young version.
A young Clyde, right? Yeah, right? That's already a marketing price. Yeah, him and Clyde, they'll be shopping, getting suits at the same spot. You know what I mean? Messing around with Clyde Taylor.
Not about that.
Yeah, but I think that, for him, it'll help his career off the court. You know what I'm saying? Coming to New York at this point in time. I did want him at one point in time, but that was when I had aspirations of us actually winning and making some noise. But adding him to I ain't going to say that he's going to improve the team, but at this point, it just doesn't make any sense unless you can move a big contract with him in order to get him. Like moving him and Rose together to get a Russell Westbrook, I would do something like that if I was the Knicks, because any other move doesn't make any sense. And then by doing that, who you depending on to be a point guard in LA? Patrick Beverley? What, Rose going to start? Rose isn't a starter anymore.
That ain't our concern once he's gone.
Ain't our concern once he's gone. I'm just trying to figure out how it makes sense. I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense for the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? How does that trade make sense for the Lakers? They don't have any draft picks. So we have all the draft picks. Now, unless street clothes.
Don't want street clothes.
You don't want street clothes either. And when we say street clothes, we're talking about Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? Street clothes.
Out of 82 game season, he's only going to give you about maybe 30.
Yeah. So the Lakers, to me, at this point, that just makes my case that the Lakers won't be a good trade partner for us, man. Like, I want to just trade Rose just for the sake of trading them. I want to trade them to bring back something that makes sense. Like we need shooters. We need a star, man. But nobody's giving us their stars. It ain't no stars. Shout out to Thibbs. He tired.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays might be a little bit too tough for him. but
Excuse me.
I don't. It don't seem like no real trade partners is out there. No disgruntled stars making any noise or any demands anytime soon. So it's like we stuck. We stuck in that hamster wheel that we've been in the 90s when we was just winning and making it to the playoffs, but couldn't get past the second, third round playing a team like the Bulls.
No.
But this case, we ain't even going to be able to get in with all the talent in the East. You know what I mean? When you look at it, like what are we playing for? The 9th, 10th spot right now? I mean, even that's technically playoffs, but it's like, all right, you get there, then what? All right, we got the fans in the Garden for at least 2 games.
How about that?
Doesn't
That's
make
if
any
we win
sense.
the first one.
That's if you win the first one. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I just don't think that it makes much sense. You know what I mean? It don't make sense at all. You know, making those type of moves if it's not going to equate to anything. We get all the draft picks in the world. If we ain't getting the #1 draft pick overall, doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't think that anybody's going to pass up a top pick in this year's draft.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to pass up on that kid from France.
Right.
We could give up all the draft picks in the world. I don't think they're going to let up off that one.
Well, I think
you know
there's a couple of teams that don't even got draft picks this year. I can't recall which teams, but there's a couple of teams that don't even got draft picks this year.
But they need the players. We need the players that they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like they got to put the TNT to the foundation of the team and blow it up. The only ones now that I would seriously consider keeping is Brunson and Obi Toppin. Everybody else at this point is expendable to me, including Grimes. Like, now I'm looking at it like, damn, we really didn't want to part ways with Quentin Grimes in order to get Donovan Mitchell.
But you see the potential there.
I mean, you see some potential, but I don't know, man. I can't wait on potential right now. I've been waiting on potential for over almost 30 years.
Well, that's on the management for not bringing at least a superstar there for all these other players to gel and extend their longevity in the NBA.
But when we did, and let's go back down the history. Let's go back down memory lane. The most talented team that we had here in New York in the past 20 years was the team that had Stephon Marbury, Jamal Crawford, Eddie Curry, and Zach Randolph. That was the most talented Knicks team that we had. Outside of the 54-win team, it just wasn't coached properly. They had Larry Brown coaching them that year, I believe. Or was that Don Chaney that had them that year?
I'm not sure. It might have been Don Chaney.
I think it was Don Chaney. They just didn't have the coach. And then when they brought Larry Brown in, Larry Brown basically tried to sabotage Isaiah because he wanted that front office job where he could get full control over the team.
He didn't want Marbury on the team.
He didn't want Marbury on the team. They made the trade to bring in Steve Francis. That didn't work. You know what I mean? They then when they got rid of Larry Brown, Isaiah was forced to coach the team. That didn't work out well. Then the Anuka Brown situation came. Then Marbury came public enemy #1. Then they brought in Donnie Walsh and Dan Tony, and then they buried Marbury, and then Marbury ended up in Boston, and he went to China. Then it was
a championship
and won 2 championships. Meanwhile,
and they made a statue of him.
Exactly, they had a statue in China. We can never forget that. You know what I mean? Then the Knicks ended up going on a fire sale. They got rid of Randolph, sent him to Memphis. They sent Jamal Crawford, I believe, to the Clippers. Quentin Richardson, he got sent elsewhere. So it just was like turmoil after that, and they never recovered from that actual mess that Isaiah cleaned up initially, and then they put TNT to the foundation again, blew it up. Then they ended up bringing in Amari Stoudemire because nobody else wanted to pay him. And then after that, Melo requested to come to New York, and then the rest was history. 54 wins later, we make the playoffs, get bounced in the first round or the second round. It was the second round against the Pacers, right? And then they chase Carmelo out of town after you bring in Phil Jackson, and then it's just been downhill ever since, man. And, you know, I thought bringing in Thibbs would be a great thing. I thought it would rejuvenate the city. It did, but the Cinderella slipper fell off quick. And now it's like the fan base wants this guy out of here. It ain't just me. The whole fan base is like, yo, we tried to stick with him. It's time to go.
I think that Thibbs' time on this Knicks should have came a few years prior to this.
Well,
when he was a free agent. I think before he went to Minnesota or something like that. That might have been his time to come to New York. I think now he's a little older now, Melo? And he might not be able to work. He might not be able to work well with the players. You know, he relies on the assistant coaches to do a lot of things for him. You know?
Yeah. And you know, I don't know what Johnny Bryant could do. I won't even sit up here and lie like I've seen him coach before. But I don't know, man. I don't think that the answer for this team moving forward is on the bench right now. I really don't think so. I don't know what they're gonna do. And shout out to my man 3D. He threw Kenny Smith's name out there, man, as a GM.
But I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Because I was reading in my Nick community, and they said, who would you rather have on your team? R.J. Barrett or Tyler Herro?
R.J. Barrett or Tyler Herro? I don't want to be biased, but I would say R.J. Barrett. To me, he's more versatile than Tyler Herro. Tyler Herro's a great shooter, don't get me wrong. But it's a reason why he's unhappy in Miami. You know, he's not good enough to be better than Jimmy Butler or anybody else that's ahead of him in the pecking order. He's a great shooter. He can shoot the hell out of the ball. But I think putting him in this situation, do you think that he'll be as good as he is in Miami without those stars around him to make the life for him easier?
I think that when they was trying to do a trade over the summer, wasn't they offering? Didn't the other team wanted him?
Who?
Whatever. They was trying to get
they
trying to get Mitchell too,
yeah,
right?
they was.
They was trying to get Mitchell too, and I think Danny Ainge wanted Tyler Herro, but whatchamacallit didn't want to give him up. Patrick Riley didn't want to give him up.
No, because at the end of the day, think about it. Does Donovan Mitchell fit with Jimmy Butler? Hell no.
No.
Hell no. That don't fit at all. That's what I'm saying. Tyler Herro balances that team, regardless if he's not the number one option. He's a shooter.
Right.
He's a shooter. But if I had a decent team with a legitimate one, I would take Tyler Herro here for sure. Like, because he can spread the floor. He's a better shooter than RJ Barrett, hands down. But versatile, I think that RJ's game is a lot more versatile than him. I think RJ's a better defender. I think RJ's a better rebounder. And RJ goes to the hole. And he finishes when he's on. That's one thing about RJ I'll say.
He goes hard to the hole with
he
that
goes,
left.
Yes, he goes to the hole and he finishes. He makes his layups and he finishes through contact. I don't think Tyler Herro has that in his bag. He's a hell of a shooter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he's just in a perfect system to where his game looks good. You know what I mean? His game looks real good. Anybody can look good around two All-Stars.
You right.
And a great coach. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got one more then.
Go ahead. Let's go. Let's go.
Who's a better basketball player? Julius Randle or Porzingis before the injuries?
Shout out to Tibbs. We might have to do this every week. Julius Randle or Porzingis, a better basketball player?
One word answer. Before the injuries.
Porzingis. Hands down. Porzingis, hands down. He's the better basketball player than Julius Randle. He's just soft. You know what I'm saying? He's fragile. I just never was a fan of his game. 7'6". You playing like a two guard. Nah. Back in the days in the park, they like, yo, man, get your big ass down the paint.
That's what marketing doing now. He doing everything what Porzingis is doing.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that. No. Don't do that.
I'm saying as far as scoring, he's shooting the three and he's running around bringing the ball up the court. Yeah, that's exactly what Porzingis, some of the things that Porzingis was doing.
Was trying to do. He was too tall. He didn't have a yo-yo. Marketing looks like mobility wise, he's much more mobile than Porzingis. He moves around. He's nimble on his feet. He runs around screens like a Reggie Miller. He can post you up. Porzingis wasn't trying to get down there in that post like that. He was too light to post dudes up. He was trying to post small forwards up, and he couldn't post them up.
Okay, my last one.
Go ahead. Let's go.
My last one. Would you go after Bradley Beal and throw RJ Barrett in the package?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bradley Beal ain't even playing right now. I think he just came back today, or he's coming back next game, but he's been injury prone. He hasn't made the Wizards better at all. No. He's been there forever. He lasted past John Wall. He hasn't led them to the playoffs. Individually, he always puts up great stats, but I wouldn't trade, because right now Bradley Beal won't move the needle. And you said straight up for RJ Barrett?
Yes.
I wouldn't do it. It won't happen realistically because, the money won't match up, and then Washington don't value our players the way that we value our players. So that would never happen. But if it was a way that it can happen, I wouldn't do it. Bradley Beal doesn't move the needle.
What about bringing Zach LaVine here and trading Toppin, Derrick Rose, Fournier, and 1 first-round draft pick?
Toppin, Derrick Rose, and for Zach LaVine? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would I decimate my whole team for Zach LaVine?
How would you decimate? All you doing is taking Toppin off.
Yeah, but that's part of my youth. You giving up Randall too?
No,
that's
no
what you
Randall.
saying?
No
Randall.
No Randall. Fournier and Derrick Rose.
Nah, that won't happen. I mean, it sounds good. Like I said, that shit. I'll do it if I could rob them blind like that. Then yeah, I'll definitely do that. If I could rob them blind, hell yeah. But realistically,
you're giving the first-round draft pick in the mix too.
Yeah, I mean, Zach LaVine is worth that, but I don't know. Does it make the team that much better?
Him and Bunsen in the backcourt together?
Does he make the team? But do you think that he can put us? Because right now, the Bulls have a losing record, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they just got their asses chopped up the other day. Now they have Nikola Vucevic. They have DeMar DeRozan.
Ball is hurt.
Well, Ball is hurt. I think he's the reason why they're not meshing and working right now. Caruso. So they got a pretty
Patrick Williams.
They got a decent team.
Yeah, they had a decent team.
And they're not doing nothing. So
who you blaming on, the coaching?
Billy Donovan is a good coach.
Again, who you blaming on?
The players.
How would you blame it on the players?
Well, you can't blame it on the players.
You can't blame it on the players.
Maybe
the
he's not
got to put the players in the right position.
Maybe he's not. Well, I blame now. You know what? I blame the front office, because to me, I never felt like what's his name meshed with Zach LaVine anyway. DeMar DeRozan. I didn't think that was a good fit. You know what I mean? They both, well, DeMar DeRozan got a hell of a mid-range game. Don't get me wrong. And Zach LaVine does slash, but none of them are like outside threats to stretch the defense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I like Zach LaVine. He's very energetic. He came back off that ACL, and a lot of people don't talk about that. He came off that injury, and he got better. He got better, but for some reason, it just doesn't equate to wins in Chicago. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And they got a low post threat in Vucevic. Like I say, he's a double-double guy. He's a double-double machine. And they're not winning with them. Like, we need winners, man. We need high IQ players. Like Jalen Brunson is a high IQ, efficient basketball player. He can run the offense. He'll get you a basket when you need it. He's the coach that's on the floor. He's an extension of the coach.
Well, he was playing with a star.
Who? Oh, Luka Doncic.
Doncic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny because now the shoe is on the other foot as far as Derrick Rose is concerned with Thibbs, because Thibbs will treat every other guard that way for Derrick Rose. Now the tables is turned. Like, Thibbs is putting Jalen Brunson over every guard on that team. Yeah. I mean, I guess he got to justify the reason why they bought him in for the money. Maybe Rick Brunson is like, you better play my son. Who knows? But it's just they missing a superstar, man. They need a superstar player that you could dump the ball to, and he gets you a basket when you need it, but still play within the flow of a system and work with the team. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, we've been having this debate over the weekend about who's the best player in the NBA, right? Me, I look at it as Luka Doncic is the best player. Everybody says I'm bugging. They saying Steph Curry. They saying all these other people, and they also saying Giannis. Now, I looked at Giannis today, right? And it's very obvious that his game is predicated on his athleticism. Once that speed and agility goes away, what do you have? Will his game, I guess my question is, will his game age well in the NBA?
The only way it would if they put a point guard in the position to give him the ball where it needs to be so he can score better. Not always bringing the ball up, always the turn on the top of the key. He's down low because that's what's going to end up having to change for part of his game.
But he's not a half-court isolation type of player.
Well,
they ain't giving him the ball like KD and letting him go to work. I mean, he be bullying his way to the paint.
Bullied his way to the paint.
Yeah, it ain't no finesse like
no
jab,
no.
pump fake,
Every
and
now
rise
again,
over
he'll do
defender.
his walking,
his
Euro.
Euro, but other than that, it's nothing else. He plays hard on defense and he runs the floor. But when that athleticism and that part of his game goes away, will his game age well in the NBA?
No.
At all. So his career, how much more years you think he got in him? He's what? 31 now, something like that, 32?
I'll give him another 4 good 5 years.
4 good 5 years at that level?
4.
Huh.
That's what they keep putting the supporting cast around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Middleton stopped getting hurt all the time, maybe they might do it. Maybe it take a little less offense off of him.
Yeah.
And it go to the other players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see.
Of course it will.
It'll be very interesting to see. But let's take it back a little bit, man, because we was talking about the rumors. We spoke about Derrick Rose. We spoke about we didn't speak about Quickly. Now they're saying Quickly.
He's auditioning.
They're trying to get him for a first round pick.
He's auditioning. He's not getting the first round pick.
He's not getting a first round pick
unless they put a package together.
Exactly.
That's the only way.
That ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? So Quickly's on the trading block, and Thibbs' seat is hotter than ever. They said that last road trip, if the Knicks didn't win 3 games, or if they didn't have a successful road trip, Thibbs probably wouldn't be coaching right now.
No, they said, I was just reading something. They said Leon Rose is feeling Thibbs.
He's feeling them.
He's feeling them. He don't think that he's going to be doing no changing direction during the season. They might do it in the off season, if anything.
Wow, which makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Let him lose out, and then you got all justifications to fire him. You
Pretty
know what I'm
much.
saying? But right now he's not. To me, he's not. He's never. And this is since last year, and even when he got here, he's never utilized his whole team to their full potential.
He's not going to.
And why? Why is that? What is it that he doesn't see that everybody else seems to see, and he feels like he only can win his way? Like,
I don't know. It kills me.
I get you. I get it. Defense wins championships, right? But look at last night's box score. You had Quentin Grimes play 40 minutes.
Defense was on the court. It was a plus. The team was a plus when he was playing.
Yeah, but by the end of the week, what do you think is going to happen?
He's burnt out.
All of these guys are going to be tired, and that's
playing
been
off
his
youth.
problem. This is what I'm saying. This is his problem as a coach, and I don't think he really takes that into consideration.
Well, this is your trade wish. I was reading.
Let's go. Let's go. Go ahead. Talk about it.
They were saying Randall Rose and a first-round draft pick for Levine and White.
Corey White?
Yeah.
Kobe White?
Kobe White.
Randall Rose and a first round pick for Levine and Kobe White. That doesn't make us better. It doesn't make us better. One, you're losing a front court player. You're losing a front court player in Julius Randle.
Everybody want Toppin to start anyway.
Yeah, you want Toppin to start, right? That means that Jericho Sims is going to have to move over to the 4 because he doesn't get much burn either.
Anyway.
So now, I'm not going to lie. You're going to lose. The Knicks lose that trade if they make that trade as constructed. Why? Because Julius Randle gives you rebounds as well.
He has his moments.
He has his moments, but he'll give you he's a better rebounder than Obi Toppin is right now. But we haven't seen Toppin get big minutes on a consistent basis to make that assumption.
No.
But the way that Obi Toppin's game is developing in New York, he's starting to hang around that three-point line a lot more now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which means that if you're hovering around the perimeter all the time, you ain't going to be down low to get no rebounds.
No, you won't.
So that means that we'll lose on that end. Now, the good thing about it is that the floor will open up more for a guy like Levine to cut and slash to the basket. But then we still wouldn't solve the problem of having a consistent shooter to knock down threes. Like the purpose of having a guy like a Levine or a Brunson to break down the defense is to make the defense collapse the way you can kick it out to your shooters so that they can knock down an open three. And that's what we don't have. And Thibbs refuses to play Evan Fournier. You know what I mean? So it's like Cam Reddish was even supposed to be that type of guy, like a threat, a 3-and-D guy. But Thibbs doesn't play him like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing him like that. Nah. And that's what I mean. So let me ask you, if we could have found a way, because right now, well, the Nets went on a little win streak, right? Kyrie and KD been playing at a high level. I know that the relationship in Brooklyn is pretty much over as far as Kyrie is concerned. Nike officially severed ties with him. And, you know, KD's still not happy, but he's just being a professional doing his job. If the opportunity ever presented itself, would you, as a GM, make the move to bring Kevin Durant here if that meant we had to give up at least 6 first-round picks and young talent to get a KD on this team, but we can still retain Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Obi Toppin? Everybody else is on the table in a trade. Would you make that move to add KD?
That's too many draft picks.
They got hella draft picks. They still will own all of their own draft picks moving forward if they traded 6 draft picks. They'll own all of their first round draft picks. The Knicks have all of their draft picks from now all the way until about 2029, 2030. They have all their draft picks moving forward. They haven't traded. They got all of their draft picks. We never had all of our draft picks ever. Plus the 7, we got 7 first round picks. That's not ours that we got from other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Number ones. So they're expendable. And holding on to them is for what? Like, it's a 15-man roster. How many young players can we actually bring in to help the team get better right away? Golden State, they got lucky. They had a good GM that saw talent. That's why they was able to put that team together. Who else? Memphis, hell of a team. All through their front office. OKC, when they was on the top of their game, Sam Presti, hell of a
Toronto
GM.
Before Lillard went there.
Yes.
Before Lillard went there, yeah.
Hell of a team.
You
know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Word.
DeRozan.
Shout out to the Facebook user out there that said no KD. Hell no. I don't know, man. KD is what, 33, 34? That scoring, he's automatic, man. He's automatic, man. That's what we need.
But you're giving up something when you're giving KD.
We're giving up Randall. But are we really losing something by giving up Randall? Randall is a turnover machine. He had some boneheaded plays yesterday. I was like, man, this guy, his IQ is just not there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Zah. He said the Celtics is 20-5. We don't care over here, man. This is a Knicks show. We don't care about
wrong show, partner.
Wrong show. Nah,
sorry.
Listen, so let me ask you a question. Is the Celtics the best team? Yeah, right now their records say they're the best team in the NBA. Would you consider them to be the best team in the league right now? Favorites to win the championship. Right now. If you had to bet money on DraftKings, Caesar Sports, MGM, would you say that they're the best team in the league right now?
Yeah, because they on the winning streak.
They 20-5.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Jaylen Brown is playing out of his mind, and Jason Tatum looks like he can't be stopped at all.
At all.
You know? And that was another question. And shout out to 3. He asked, who's the better player, Jason Tatum or Luka Doncic?
Luka does more for his team compared to what Tatum does.
You sure?
I'm positive. He does more for his team. He's the
Elaborate
guard. He's the guard. He brings the ball up the court.
Facts.
No, he puts the players in the position to either score or shoot a brick.
Facts.
You know?
Facts.
That's why he holds the balls on.
And shout out to my guy. He said LeBron, KD, CP3, Harden, Kawhi, DeRozan. These are guys that's on the back end. You don't mortgage your future for back end guys unless you already have the core in place, which is true. And that sounds like my guy 3D right now. That said that, man. For real, man. Shout out to you, man. Word up, man. And Tatum doesn't need the ball as long as Luka does.
No.
Yeah, everybody keeps it. But you see, this is what I don't get, man. Luka Doncic is a point guard. He just happens to be 6'7" with a dad bod. He's a point guard. He was a point guard in Europe. He's a point guard in the NBA today. He needs the ball in his hand. From what I understand from coming up, point guards had the ball in their hand primarily. It's just like a quarterback in football. The quarterback makes the decision on where the ball goes.
Isn't that the
and makes
same
the floor.
thing that they say about the center in Denver?
Jokic. And nobody wants to give him his pride. He's the best big man in the game. He's better than Joel Embiid. But again, because they're from Europe with dad bods, everybody is hating on these guys, man. They come to the States fundamentally sound, man. And they don't have the distractions that we have. Why? Because they come from poor countries where they like this, man. What? What you saying? How much do that cost? I never had that. You know what I'm saying? And they come here and take the game serious. This is why they're coming over. This is why more teams are scouting overseas now.
Of course.
They looking for the next Luka.
Of course. Of course.
Yes, he is better than Embiid. Absolutely better than Embiid. 100%. 2-time back-to-back MVP. Triple-double at will.
Embiid got a bad back.
Rebounds, and points.
He got a bad back.
I want to hear that bad back, man. Like, listen, man. Embiid is good. Don't get me wrong. He's a dominant force. He should be more dominant than what he is.
Yeah, he should be.
Just like Shaq was. Shaq was bigger than everybody else.
Yeah, he was bigger than everybody.
Embiid is the same in the same elk. Embiid should be dominating just like Shaq did.
So what's the problem?
He don't. Everybody said the last MVP was suspect. Yo, the voters didn't think that, man.
They didn't think it just, they only thought about what they did for the season.
That's it,
and
man.
what the player did for their team.
And you got to also take into consideration, kid, he didn't have Jamal Murray on his team. And Jamal Murray was killing. Everybody was focused on Luka, and he still did his thing.
How about that?
You know what I mean? For real. But, you know, I don't know, man. Shout out to my peoples out there, man. I love a good debate, man. He said Jokic will never dominate in the playoffs. It remains to be seen, man. He got a healthy team this year.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, especially in the West. They're a dangerous team. Gordon seemed like he found his game now in Denver. You know what I mean? Murray is getting back to form. And it looks like we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, man. Yo, Shaq, that gotta be 3. I can't see exactly what it is. That sounds like 3. He said, the voters are writers. Come on, man. Like, they watch the game, man. Coaches actually vote too. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Jokic, man, is very good. It's just people can't get past his appearance, man. He got the dad bod. He's not supposed to be doing what he's doing.
And he don't jump.
And he don't jump. So people's like, he leading the fast breaks. and we gonna see, man, if the Nuggets are pretenders, man. Let's take a quick look at what the Nuggets record is right now, because at the end of the day, you know, they out here in the West, handling teams in the West. You know what I'm saying? They handling teams in the West. But what you think about Jokic, though, Thibbs?
Europeans are coming to take over.
A
lot of people don't want. A lot of people. No. A lot of people don't want to hear that.
That's a fact.
And the fact remains. A lot of those European players they come from Europe and these other places, and they play all year long.
And play with grown men.
And play with grown men when they were young.
As kids.
So there's a little difference. It's a little different.
Now, the Nuggets are 14-9. 4th place in the West right now. You know what I mean? Let's look at Jokic's stats. Jokic is averaging in the regular season thus far. He's averaging 23? Hold on, no, this is not it. Let's do it right. So he's averaging 23 points, 10 boards, and 8 assists per game. It's almost a triple-double, fam. Hold on. From a big man's perspective, man.
Hold on.
Shout out to my guy Weavy.
Hold on. This is Nick Talk.
Hungry.
This is Nick Talk Radio. So
Yes.
we're gonna go back to Knicks right now.
Let's go.
I just came across something, and they said the Knicks point guard combined for 71 minutes and only combined with 22 points, where the Cleveland Cavaliers shooting guard played 40 minutes and 23 points.
See,
makes sense to that development.
It's really simple. Simple math. Superstar, average player. That's it. This is what superstar players do. They come in and, like, what was it, last night? Jaylen Brown had like more points than who did they play yesterday? He had more points than the opposing team.
Brooklyn
In the first quarter. So it's like, you know, that's what superstar players do. For real. And shout out to my man Weave. He said Jokic is a beast. That's a fact. He's a beast.
He's a beast.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man. He said the world caught up, man, to the U.S. in basketball. It's true.
Right.
It's true. And the Knicks don't have a system right now.
No, they don't.
We are struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so,
it, man. But back to Thibbs, man. So Thibbs, we can't fault him for not having a superstar player, right? But we can't fault him for, like my man just said, there is no system in place. You know what I mean? There's no real culture. There's no real flow to the team's offense because the lineups are all over the place. Like we said earlier in the show, Cam Reddish is playing one week, then the next week you got him on the bench. Obi Toppin plays, he makes one mistake, you pull him. Like, how do you expect these guys to build any chemistry or have any real confidence in their game if they got to constantly look over their shoulder if they make a mistake? But yet you got guys like Randall that are spinning the double teams, turn the ball over, dribbling into 3 players, and you let him rock. But if Obi Toppin shoots a 3, you pull him once he misses the shot. Like, it just doesn't make sense, man.
But Quentin Grimes only finished with 4 points yesterday.
Quentin Grimes only finished with 4 points.
And played 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
So did Donovan Mitchell and had 23 points. So,
Shout out to my man Syke, man. He said fire his ass. He said F him, bring in Mark Jackson. Every Knick fan feel the same way. I want to see my man Mark Jackson in the Garden. You know what I'm saying? For real. But
hope and pray.
Hope and pray.
Put a petition out.
Yeah, we need that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Thibbs needs to definitely buckle down, start playing more of the young players. Like I said, man, it don't make any sense for the Knicks to try to win this season. What we playing into a playoff spot, the play-in game, then you lose your position in the draft, man.
How about that?
We need as many ping pong balls as possible to get that number 1 overall pick, man.
Sure do.
Because we'll have 2 in this year's draft. Again, 2 first-round picks. That could jumpstart your program over again. Anyway, you get a high lottery pick, and you can possibly move both of those picks to move into the top 3 spot if you don't get a top 3 spot just off the strength of getting into the lottery, man. So I think they need to take that strategy and really stop trying to, win games when they don't need to. For real. Shout out to Weavy. He said, word, our coach be drunk or something. He must have hit that loud pack. Now let me stop, man. Word up, man. But man, like I said, man, I really, I'm a diehard fan, but I'm a realist fan too. And I'm tired of just being mediocre, man. I'm tired of Knicks being a butt.
What's their next 3 games?
All right, so let's go to their next 3 games, man. I thought you would have had that pulled up. Word up, man.
Let me see.
Word up, man. Let's see, man. Next 3 games that they have, and I was supposed to add that too. The next 3 games that the Knicks have, I think they're winnable.
They play Atlanta on Wednesday.
Oh, that's gonna be probably an L.
They play
Atlanta or home?
They home. They go to Charlotte Friday.
All right, so at home they could probably beat Atlanta. Atlanta is 13-11.
Right.
Charlotte is 7-17.
Right. Sunday, they home against Sacramento.
Winnable games.
Next Wednesday, they play the Bulls. That 2 games in the Bulls. They play the Wednesday in the Bulls, and they play Friday at the Bulls.
Yeah. They could go on a little streak, but again, I won't be surprised if they don't win any of these games outside of the Charlotte game, and Sacramento's playing good this year. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mike Brown. He out there having them playing even better. You know what I mean? They playing better. De'Aaron Fox, somebody that the Knicks wanted at one point in time, seems like he's happy now. Davion Mitchell.
About time.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench. Shout out to Shaq, man. I think Vlade Divac is still their GM, right?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but those are all winnable games, man. That back-to-back in Chicago is crazy because it's in Chicago for both games.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Then they come home, or they go off to Indiana. That's tough, and then they come back home to play against the Warriors. And we know Steph Curry gonna come with his A game.
You know that already.
Shout out to Syke. He said losses. Word up, man. But like I said earlier, man, everybody is saying that Luka isn't the best player in the league, and it's Giannis. But I have to disagree because without that athleticism, Giannis gives you nothing. They form a wall against him to stop him from driving into that paint. He got to go to a jump shot.
He better work on that Patrick Ewing jump shot.
And that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. He's a freak of nature. He's different. Like his athleticism is off the charts, but he got
to get that jump shot.
He got to get a better game. He got to put together a better package. Now he works hard. His free throws, all that stuff. Like he needs to improve on a lot, man. But as far as the Knicks, man, I don't know, man. Like I said, they'll be doing themselves a disservice by, winning this season, man. We don't need to win this season. We got the point guard that we wanted that eluded us for many years. I think we need to kind of build around him. We got to have a fire sale, get rid of guys like RJ, get rid of guys like Julius Randle, and start building from scratch, man. We need to bring a star in, man. I don't care what anybody said. This isn't back in the days when we didn't have draft picks that was expendable.
But stars want to win.
That's true too. And that's why I said I don't really want to depend on trading for one. I'd rather draft one. For real. Because trading for one is gonna be hard. And like 3 said earlier, man, you don't want to mortgage your future for dudes on the back end of their career. And that's what we've been doing for a minute. Yeah, I would build around Brunson, man. He's a point guard, man. That's the hardest position to play in basketball, man. The point guard. It's just like football. The hardest position to play is quarterback. And most teams don't have one.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? And the Giants, we still don't know if we have one. For real. Nah, but it's like
they're going to franchise tag him.
It's just like a point guard, man. You need a guy that's going to run the offense.
Yes, you do.
Yes, he's a guard, but we're in a guard league. There ain't no big man league. I mean, guys like Shaq don't exist anymore. Joel Embiid, all of these guys, they want to be
everything on the
wing
court.
Players. They want to be threes.
Yeah, they want to be everything on the court.
You know what I mean? They want to play every position except for where they need to be down low.
How about that?
So the game has changed.
Very much so.
We need new blood, man. We need new blood. We need a new coach. And like I said, man, And shout out to 3 again, man. I like that idea of bringing a guy like Kenny Smith in because
he want to be the GM though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He could be the GM. He'll bring a new mind frame to the team, and I think that he got his ears to the streets and the ground, like where these players are, the pulse of how these players think today. And
so
shout out to
with Leon
Vincent.
Rose?
I'm not done with Leon Rose, but I mean, if it's a chance to bring in some new blood, and if we got to tear it down to rebuild it and start from scratch with some new blood and new people, then yeah, I'll get rid of Leon Rose. I mean, he don't have a real track record as a GM. You know what I mean? This is starting his track record as a GM, coming from being an agent.
Well, he didn't do nothing in the summertime.
Yeah, he didn't do much in the summertime.
No,
he stood pat because they really had their eyes set on Donovan Mitchell. See, a lot of people don't realize, man, when they went to Dallas to watch that series when the Mavericks played the Utah Jazz, that rubbed a lot of people in both front offices the same way.
Of course it did. Of course.
That's why Danny Ainge didn't want to give us Donovan Mitchell. And this is why Dallas wanted to sue the Knicks or catch the Knicks for tampering. You know what I mean? Because World Wide West was out there really trying to get that backcourt together. Now, that backcourt with Mitchell and Brunson would have been a good one. Even though they'd have been undersized, it would have been a good backcourt. For real. Yeah, and we do. And shout out to 3, man. He said that the Knicks, scouting staff, drafting team, we always miss. We do. We always miss.
They get old men who like to drink coffee all the time and don't be paying attention to the little things and the small things.
Yeah, guys like
that help to make the team better.
Yeah, guys like Donnie Walsh, man, was detrimental to the team, man. He
Scott
did what
Layden
anybody
too.
can do. Yeah, Scott Layden was the poison. Isaiah inherited that team, and he came and tried to make, sugar out of shit. Excuse my language.
And it was all shit.
And it was all shit. Clarence Weatherspoon, Shandon Anderson, Howard Isley, Travis Knight. We had players that nobody wanted, kid. He turned that into Stephon Marbury, Jamal Crawford, Zach Randolph, Quentin Richardson, and Eddie Curry, man. He did what he had to do, man, for real. So we got like a minute and 20 seconds, man. Tips. So we named off them games. What you think about the next 5 games, man? What you think the Knicks gonna finish off with?
I give them about maybe 3 or 4 out of them.
You think they could win three games out of the 5?
Yeah, I give them about 3.
The back-to-back in Chicago?
Back-to-back, they might win one of them. I don't think the Bulls can't beat them back 2 games straight.
I don't think they winning none of those games.
Nah.
Not a chance, man.
I know you don't have faith in them.
Nah, it's not I don't got faith in them. I'm just being real, man. I don't think they can stop.
Chicago don't have a full healthy team. That's number 1.
You got 45 seconds. Yeah.
They don't have a full healthy team. There's a way. It could happen.
When there's a will, there's a way, huh?
You know it.
Word up, man. But shout out to everybody checking in on us on Facebook. Shout out to everybody listening live on Bars and Hoops Radio. Shout out to everybody listening on YouTube, watching us live. We are Knicks Talk Nation Radio. We come on every Monday live on BarsandHoopsRadio.com. Myself, Stills the Great. My co-host, Tip of the Gambler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And until next week, man, we gonna say peace.
Peace.
Peace.